The government has today published our strategy for modern and secure elections. When we came into power just over a year ago, the government committed through its manifesto to bring forward measures to strengthen our precious democracy and uphold the integrity of our elections. The strategy we have published today will set out how we will legislate and implement provisions to extend the voter franchise to 16 and 17-year-olds, increase participation in our elections, tackle the inconsistencies in voter ID rules, and protect our democracy by overhauling our political finance rules. We also recognise that there is a growing and worrying trend of candidates, administrators, and electors who face harassment and intimidation, which is having a chilling effect on our democracy. We are bringing forward measures to tackle this, and I want to take this opportunity to thank Mr. Speaker and the Speakers' Conference for the work that's being conducted and the report that's been published on harassment and intimidation. And we will be fixing the foundations of how elections operate, taking forward a range of practical measures to ensure elections continue to be delivered successfully. Madam Deputy Speaker, our democracy is central to who we are as a country. We can take pride in its evolution and how it has and continues to inspire. As a government, we have a responsibility to protect and strengthen it. The plans we have announced today will future-proof our democracy, secure our elections, and protect them against interference. We will deliver them during the lifetime of this Parliament through a programme of reforms, including an elections bill to be introduced in due course. Through this strategy, we will usher in a new chapter in our democracy, reflecting our principles and restoring faith in our politics. And I look forward to working with colleagues across the House on this very important agenda.
Fellow Minister Paulhan.
Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker. Yesterday, the Department gave notice of a written ministerial statement on the Government's new strategy for elections, which is a significant policy document on changes to election law and political finance law, something that affects us all in this House. But instead of the Democracy Minister using this democratic chamber to announce a new wide-ranging strategy on democracy, the Government chose to announce it to the press in the Monday No. 10 lobby briefing, typical of government by press release. In fact, it's just been announced on BBC News. There will be no opportunity for parliamentary scrutiny until September due to the pending recess. So I asked the Minister, why did she not choose to come to this House to announce this policy, despite word that they would do so by written ministerial statement? And why did she not think it was right to come here of her own accord? And why has there been no consultation of political parties to date? This is contrary to the approach of the last government, which actively consulted on changes. This strategy has finally revealed their ambition for allowing a 16-year-old to vote in an election but not stand in it, probably because young people are being abandoned in droves by the Labour Party. So why does this government think a 16-year-old can vote but not be allowed to buy a lottery ticket, an alcoholic drink, marry or go to war, or even stand in the elections they're voting in? Isn't the government's position on the age of majority just hopelessly confused? And does the Minister agree that foreign donations are already illegal and should remain so, but will steps be taken to tighten the law to prevent donations from those who are not properly on the electoral roll, including the funnelling of money from permissible sources? We welcome the U-turn on not scrapping voter ID, but will allowing bank account cards not undermine the security of the ballot box? And what security measures will she bring in now automatic registration has been announced? Finally, what steps will she take to bring in to tackle the important issue of intimidation in public life? Will the government still abide by the long-standing convention that the government of the day does not unilaterally impose measures directly affecting political parties as political parties without proper engagement and discussion, and in future not announce constitutional policy by press release?
Minister.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. This government was elected on a manifesto that committed to granting 16-year-olds the right to vote and protecting our democracy from foreign money. So can I remind the honourable gentleman that his party lost the general election in the worst general election defeat for decades? It's no wonder that the party opposite are scared of the electorate. The truth is, young people deserve to have a stake and to have a say in the future of our democracy. Young people can vote for any party they like, and it speaks volumes that the honourable gentleman would prefer for them to be silenced. Can I also remind the House that it was his party that sat in government for 14 years and did nothing to close the gaping loopholes, allowing foreign interference and foreign money to enter our system. This is despite independent experts calling for change. The Intelligence and Security Committee's Russia report exposed malign efforts to channel foreign money into UK politics. Both the Committee on Standards in Public Life and the Electoral Commission have called for strengthened regulations and greater transparency in political donations, alongside modernised enforcement. We make no apologies for finally taking the tough choices and to protect Britain's democracy from malign foreign interference. The real question for the honourable gentleman is, will his party finally end their addiction to donations from shell companies? Under these laws, new laws, they won't have a choice, and we won't stop there. They will finally have to update their weak due diligence checks and conduct enhanced checks. Madam Deputy Speaker, we will give the Electoral Commission the power to administer a hefty up to £500,000 maximum fine to deter bad behaviour. Instead of pointing the finger, the honourable gentleman should be welcoming these changes and taking the opportunity to finally clean up his party. Now, Madam Deputy Speaker, we have published the election strategy. We have laid a written statement. I have responded in the Public Constitutional Affairs Committee, the Speaker's Committee, and I will continue to engage with parliamentary colleagues in the coming days, over the summer recess and in the autumn. There are a series of changes that we want to make, and I am determined to make sure we get as much cross-party agreement as possible. And I look forward to working with him, because I believe, Madam Deputy Speaker, on a range of issues, there's common ground. He knows all too well the harassment and intimidation many of us have faced, and threats to our lives. It's really important that we work on these agendas together, and on moving towards automated voter ID, as he mentioned. We will make careful consideration on how we implement those changes, ensuring they are done safely. And I look forward to working with colleagues on doing that. We have retained the voter ID changes that were made under the previous government, but we recognise that legitimate voters, particularly those of certain groups, including disabled voters, were excluded. We need to address that gap, and I know his party recognise that challenge, and so we are ensuring that as we go forward, we do not exclude legitimate voters. So I look forward to working with him on common issues of interest and agreement.